vertical landing short takeoff version, which is what the UK military operates.
The Model 229. And just a phenomenal aircraft. Again, can take huge amounts of punishment. And also, as anyone who's seen Masters of the Air will know, it was lethally dangerous too. And I have to say, I thought it really held up. I think it's a terrific film.
It's pretty an amazing film. The Bombay doors open on Sally B there, just as just giving us a belly side pass. Now, it always amazes me just how small the bomb bay and those doors are on a B-7.
On the other hand, they are to a crew member that I think it was the navigator. Just fabulous. A beast, but a beautiful beast.
big wave as Emiliano pulls very tight. That can't be easy for Daniel. Her leg is straight out of her now. He's pulling at least 4G. the wing, waving. Big wave as they fly left to right, slow speed. Standing on that trailing end of the wing, holding her leg as they fly around about probably 120 miles an hour, so again that can't be easy. Tether just to stop her falling, but she's moving all around the aircraft. I think we're going to see something very unique for 46 Aviation, something that the other wing warming teams I've not seen do. But slow speed now coming in a bit closer as they can below 150 knots, 160 odd miles an hour. She's now standing on the wing of the aircraft. Very steep dive. She's now laying across the wings there, ladies and gentlemen, pulling up into a loop as Danielle is laying between the wings, all outstretched. Absolutely. It's all about communication, James, and we clearly don't have any communication with the control tower because this aircraft was actually due in. In fact, there's a little it was coming up against. Winkle Brown, perhaps our most famous naval aviator, reckoned the Mark was up there with his very favourite aeroplanes. It's the machine he scored his first kills in, shot down Condor over the Bay of Biscay. Before
he was on an escort.
And he's on an escort carrier, which was the first escort carrier, which was sunk shortly afterwards. But he retained a fondness for decades.
represent the top of the tree. In fact, as far as I know, the Bearcat still now holds the current piston engine world speed record. And you can see why, they're around 500 miles an hour on a straight line, which is, that's jet speed. In fact, talking to, as I say, this and Sea Fury were peas in a pod. And some of the Sea Fury pilots said flying these things, it's really like flying the jets in terms of the performance that you have on tap. Here it comes.
What a plane that is. 5. And of course, they're still kind of getting production of Spitfires underway in 1940, which is why there were more Hurricanes than there were Spitfires during the Battle of Britain. Very rugged plane. And it's got a bigger engine. Spitfire Mark 1 in 1940. It just wasn't. But it was still a very, very good fighter plane, certainly for 1940. And the numbers count. Holy moly, people. How good is that?
Time to perfection with the arrival of that Hurricane as well.
First flew 1st of September 1944 as a Fury, 21st of February 1945 as a Sea Fury. It's so quick.
With the roll rate of the Fury here, as Paul flies it, you can see him doing those rolls. It's a very crisp aileron, so the roll rate looks very impressive as Paul flies it through this display. Vertical climb, rolling in the vertical. Slow rolling now, reversing the turn. Now she's going to position into a flat spin now, so you can see the aircraft is purely flat as she spins back towards the earth, recovers from that, 90 degrees nose down, pitching hard as she pulls out, back onto the display line, into a 4-point roll.
How many Gs is she pulling at that point?
Oh, probably at the recovery of that vertical dive, maybe around about 6G. The aircraft is actually stressed to plus 10G. Little ruard at the top there, little tumble, onto the 45 down, upside down now. I talked about stress to plus 10G. More alarmingly, the aircraft is actually actually stressed to minus 10 G, so you can push minus 10 G in this aircraft. Now this is pulling up into the vertical. Into what we call a knife edge spin. So now on the knife edge, so the wing pointing down as she spins the aircraft back down into the vertical. That snap there, you see the kink in that smoke as she's pulling very hard, probably around 5 G to recover that manoeuvre. Hesitation roll on the way out. She's working very hard against that positive G. Not a lot you can do for the negative, it just sends all those, you've been on a roller coaster and you get those weird speckles in your eyes after you go over a humpback bridge or a roller coaster. That's exactly what's happening as you push negative G. So stationary flight now, hovering on the propeller. Very little forward speed, back down onto the vertical and recovering around 6G onto the display line. I think this might be the freestyle. Now for the left.
So what's the thinking behind the twin rudder? Because it's obviously it's aimed on a lot of. What an incredibly exciting time it must have been in the 1930s when all these incredible planes were coming out. You think of B-17 in 1935, this is emerging in 1936. You know, those prototypes all coming out in shiny silvery lack of paint, and just imagine seeing this for the first time. And you think, you know, just in a few short years, we've gone from a biplane era to a monoplane one. Think how futuristic and modern that must have seemed to him.
Nice, slow roll to inverted and push outs. Still pushing. Rolling on the way down. Tigger, for fairly obvious reasons. A nice tight pull into the vertical. Now he's going to start rolling to 90 degrees, 180. Hesitation rolls in the vertical, stopping purely vertical into just a stall turn over the top, twist on the way down the hill, another slow roll climbing over to inverted and a flight grid really, an aerobatic airplane, but also a tourer. I'm told the range of this aircraft is around 1,300 miles when you put fuel in the wings, so incredible aeroplane to take all around the world. Baggy, so you can go and have fun and also do some touring at the same time. Very light aeroplane, developed by a chap called Philip Steinbach, who was in Lincolnshire to start with, and now he's moved over to the States where GE Composites has been established, and they are producing a large number of these aircraft every month. The order book is full for these aircraft. You can see why. Quickly, here's that torque roller I talked about. It's still rolling, but actually only by opposing the torque of the engine. Now tail slide, drop it back through the vertical.
All theatres. It's a ball, for goodness. You know, I see that and I just think of these planes flying in formation over France, I don't know, early May 1944, ahead of the invasion, to attack some bridge over the River Loire or something, you know, coming in low. And the amazing thing is that these bombers, these twin-engine bombers like the Mitchell, destroyed every single bridge over the River Seine.
Sounds like he has the worst job in the world. He is the chief fixed-wing pilot for the Flying Bulls, so he gets to fly all of the fixed-wing aircraft in the Flying Bulls inventory. The DC-6, the B-25, the Lightning, the Mustang and the Corsair, so rather envious of his job.
February the 17th. Last 17. I mean, that's still a heck of a lot. But most of his aerial victories were not scored in the triplane. He had all sorts of structural problems to start off with. The wings kept collapsing. Incredibly manoeuvrable. And of course in the biplane era, it's all about manoeuvrability rather than the machine gun butts. It's not terribly helpful. And it was a captured one from February 1917 that persuaded Anthony Fokker that this was the way to go. Well, Platts, his chief designer, this was what was needed. He wanted a Fokker triplane as well. The first prototype. Chief designer took over from Mitchell when he sadly passed away. Beverly Shenstone and Al Faddy. And it was Shenstone, Smith and Faddy who were really responsible for the elliptical wing rather than Mitchell. Spitfires. Get ready, people.
tightening. That's the opposite. He's pulling back on the stick just to pull a little bit more G and tighten the turn to complete this fly past.
Look at that.
The privilege of flying aircraft that have such pinnacle, and this very aircraft you're watching just
Tom Placid one never regretted it. He loved his aircraft. His love for it went very deep indeed. And I can come and see why. It's an amazing shape, amazing design, small and angry wasp. And it has this incredible range. 35,000 feet, can fly over 450.
you get that whistling noise, same effect when you hear that Mustang scream. And another pub fact for you, some of the R2-D2 sound effects in Star Wars were actually the Mustang scream.
I didn't know that. God, the things I've learned from you today, Lingy, it's amazing. But the 4 fighter group, I'm picking out them, but I could have picked out the 56 or 354 for any number of them. But I think the key point about them is that they fulfill the 3 M's: method, motivation, and morale. They had a great plane, they knew what they were doing, motivation was good, they understood the mission, morale was extremely high because they were all incredibly good at what they did. And Don Blakesley as a fighter commander was just superb, tough, no nonsense, hard drinking. It's actually a lovely looking plane, isn't it? From my opinion.
I love flying them. I'm very lucky. Ian Castle here at Sywell, he allows me to fly his Tiger Monster from time to time. It's really light, very responsive controls. It's slow, but it's nimble at the same time. So, as you can see with Danny here, as he comes around in a turn, showing the underside of the aircraft. Special to me, my late grandfather, who was a Lancaster pilot, did his first solo in a Tiger Monster. I've got it in his logbook, which so it's very, very special when I first got my hands on one of these and got to fly it. But The reason why we put this in the show this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is to talk about a very special scholarship indeed, and a very special foundation. So unfortunately, back in 2019, a chap called Thomas Castle, who was the son of Ian Castle I just mentioned, he was tragically killed in an aerobatic accident. So the teardrop. That gives us in all the different parts. This very aeroplane. The year before last, I was tasked with a display one Sunday morning in this very aeroplane. The night before, I'd flown the grey Spitfire display, which doesn't have power. Just listen to the noise of this as Jim brings around when I finish the story.